recently I was talking to a friend who was keen on investing in Indian ESG funds, and I was trying to dissuade him for two reasons. One is that I believe we should invest in mutual funds which have more than a 5-year track record, so we can see how their past performance was and get enough information to decide whether to go ahead or not. Now, most ESG funds in India are less than 3 years old. The second is that I've not seen any compelling evidence or articles that suggest that Indian ESG funds are behaving differently from a large and mid-cap fund. Which brings me back to my point number 1 again, that invest in a fund which has a proper track record. Now, my friend counter-argued. He said that he'd like to invest a small amount, see how the space is growing, see if the funds are actually putting in enough work to invest in companies and sectors that have a ESG outlook, and then go ahead, which is also my philosophy when it comes generally to investing, is that put in small amounts, see how that is working out, and then add more if you're comfortable. So I got on the job. I went on to value research online. First, I identified the ESG funds from the large fund houses. Then I put down the sectors in which they're investing in. And then I highlighted which are the key sectors, the sectors which I thought would have more of an impact on the environmental space. And so for example, here an automobile or a cement industry could potentially have more impact in a positive or negative way compared to a finance technology company or sector in the when it comes to environment. So this was the second level of segregation that I did. Then I put down the exposure of each of these funds to these sectors. Now I found that when you total the exposure to these key sectors, then there were 3 funds which stood out, which are put as fund 1, 2 and 3 here. And then when I look at individual sectors where they have taken exposure, considering 5% to be a significant exposure, there was only one fund which had significant exposure to 4 sectors, whereas all the others have towards 2 sectors. So now if I was to choose one fund to invest in, I would invest in this fund number 1. Whereas if I had to choose a second fund, then I'd probably go for fund 2 or fund 3, depending on what I feel is more important. So due to regulatory reasons, I could not put down the fund names here, but if you want to know more, do write us a line and we'd be happy to share the information. If you have any queries, do drop a comment. Thanks for watching.